welcome to Life Wisdom with Ed Langan. We've been trying to get on for the past couple of minutes. It's been it's been interesting, and you can see my friend and colleague Polly Jo is already here with us today. She is our special guest today. Life Wisdom is hi Polly Jo, thank you. Life Wisdom is the place to come for practical and spiritual information to help you move forward on your path, and life wisdom from the guides. So this is a spiritual talk show, and I see Christine is here. Hi, Christine. How are you? Welcome. And today I'm going to have a wonderful conversation. Brenda is here also. Hi, Brenda. How are you? We're going to have a wonderful conversation with Polly Jo. The scary part is I may be flying the plane, not March. So anything can happen today. Who knows what's going to happen? So in the first part of the show, I'm going to have a wonderful conversation with Polly Jo, and we're going to talk about her and what she does and some of her spiritual gifts. We're going to chat about spiritual principles and all kinds of wonderful things. And then we are going to talk about tapping, because so far every episode I have talked about tapping. So we're going to talk about tapping a little bit. And then the second part of the show, we're going to channel answers from the guides. If you have questions, I do have a question ahead of time, and we're going to invite Polly Jo if she'd like to stay for that. So you get the benefit of lots and lots of guides instead of only mine. And I think we're just going to jump in. So before I start, I just want to say that the Star Nations magazine issue was published today. It came out today, and I have a story in there about free will and giving your power away. And Polly Jo, you have a story in there too. What is your story about this month?
You're asking the wrong person.
Okay. All right. So your story is about chakras and about the other 5 chakras, the higher self
chakras. Yes. Yes. Sorry.
Okay. That's all right. And I think it actually links to your show. So yes, they can watch your show from there. So that's exciting. That came out today, and that's going to be fun. And you are not where you usually are. Where are you?
I'm at Star Nations.
You're at Star Nations. You're at the mothership. I'm
at the mothership. Yep. I'm here to teach this weekend.
You're there this weekend. Okay. So you're doing a workshop.
Yes, I'm doing an empowerment weekend. So for anybody who wants to move forward in their life or take some new action, or to clear any like health things that are going on, that's big. And actually, we have room for a couple people. If anybody's local and wants to just hop in, they could even join us on Saturday if they wanted to. So.
Okay, good. So what is local? You're in Wisconsin.
I'm in Wisconsin. Yeah. So.
Okay. And you even said that right. You didn't say it like me.
If you're in Wisconsin or Illinois, Michigan, maybe even Indiana, you could hop in a car and get here and hang out with us for the weekend. Okay, good. We will make sure that somebody gets that information into the comments, whether Neshi or we put it in afterwards, but we'll make sure it's there so that if you guys are interested, it's going to be an amazing weekend with Polly Jo out there in Wisconsin. So if you have the opportunity, do that. And the funny part is I'm going to be at Polly Jo's on Sunday, and Polly Jo's not going to be there. Marge and I are going to be there. We're teaching a workshop at her school, and we're teaching Heal Your Mind. I believe we're teaching what your soul wants you to know. So we'll also make sure that information is there too. And we will miss you, but we know that the work you're doing out in Wisconsin is really important, and we're happy that we're both doing that. So, and we have a big surprise about the two of us later anyway, which we're gonna disclose at the end. Yeah. So just quickly, just in case my viewers don't know who Polly Jo is, I am going to read her some of her bio so that you guys can find out a little bit about her. Polly Jo Labbe is the founder of the Trinity School of Mystical Energy in Western Massachusetts. She is a renowned healer and educator who has studied with Sonia Choquette, Lisa Campion, and Reese Thomas. Polly's depth and birth of both traditional and energy medicine enable her to accomplish her mission of healing the healer. She is a
Yasui Reiki master, and a sixth sensory practitioner. That's hard to say. Her areas of expertise include Reiki, how do you say that?
Alchemical.
Thank you. Healing, IET, aroma touch technique, angelic essence healing, psychic development, tarot, and empath work. Polly Jo studied at the Reese Thomas Institute of Energy Medicine and received a BA in education from the University of Massachusetts with concentrations in dance and minors in psychology and mathematics. She is the former owner of Heart and Soul Dance Academy, and Hilltown Dance Center. She is the former national president of the National Association of Dance and Affiliated Arts. And more. I know there's more than that, but that I think that's enough for today, right?
Absolutely.
All right. Excellent. Let me just find my other notes here, and we will get started. All right. So I've known you for a while, and we're friends, and you've actually seen Marge in person.
Yeah.
And I know some of your story, but I don't know all of your story. So I just have a question for you. When did your gifts start showing up in your experience, in your life? When did you start noticing that you had some abilities?
Well, really, my gifts were there in childhood.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a lot of foreseeing. That was clear. I would warn people that something was about to happen, and then it would happen. And so initially that didn't go over well because I was in a nursery school that was led by nuns. I didn't necessarily enjoy having a psychic child tell them what was going to happen.
Yeah, I can understand that.
That didn't go over well. But I used my ability initially of channeling. I would call in the dances and create them. So they would come in with, I would hear the music and start to feel the dance, see the dance, experience the dance in my body. And then I would create it from there, which I thought everybody did.
Right.
I actually didn't know that didn't happen for other people until I was really almost in my 40s.
Wow. Okay.
It just didn't occur to me that it would happen any other way.
Right. Now, it's funny. I had a similar experience with guitar playing because I would channel when I would play my guitar, and I just figured that's how everybody played music. So yeah, I understand that completely. Yep. That's interesting. How did your family react to your abilities?
It was cute when I was little until I started becoming aware of my parents' discord, I guess. Let's put it that way.
Okay.
Then it was difficult. The channeling of the dances was always allowed because it was a creative expression. But the foreseeing was not always welcome. And the last time that I really allowed it to happen as like a teenager, actually I wasn't even a teenager. I was in my kind of preteen, probably around, I'd have to look it up date-wise, 10 or 11. But I saw New York City blacking out while we were there. And so I mentioned it and was like, wouldn't it be funny if this happened? And then within like 2 hours, it did happen. And somebody said that I caused it to happen. So when that created doubt in me about whether I mean, boy, I was pretty powerful if I caused it to happen, but it was doubt at that time. So I didn't want to be bad. So anytime something like that came in, I shut it down. Okay.
Huh. That's interesting. Now I have a quick funny story about the blackout. Some of you know my father is a retired New York City police officer, and there was a little boy who came in a few days later to the police station horrified that he had caused it because he took his plastic baseball bat and hit a light post just as the lights went off, and he was positive that he caused the blackout. So that's funny that you thought you caused it too.
Yep. Oh, absolutely. Yep.
Interesting. So you studied dance, psychology, mathematics, and I have teased you that you're a rocket science. And what was the catalyst for you to become a healer and a metaphysical teacher? Was it more that there was just so much within you, or because you were channeling the dances? So
Yep.
what was the switch?
Well, first of all, anytime I laid hands on a student, like to help them with a stretch or to like correct their posture or their arm or anything like that, I would get intuitive hits. So lots of times I could tell whether an injury was an injury or it was a strain or that type of thing ahead of time. So I had that. And then with the teenage girls, I started noticing that I could, if I was helping them with a stretch and they were having something going on at home, I was getting the information about that. I was getting the emotional upheaval they were having. So I would help them work on releasing their emotions while they were dancing. So I was naturally doing that in my classes anyways. And then it got to a point where I taught thousands of students over the years.
Okay.
And so, because I started teaching dance at 16.
Wow. Okay.
For money.
Wow, good for you. That's amazing.
I was teaching by the time I was 12, actually, but started getting paid when I was 16. And so I kind of reached a saturation point with the parents and the students, because it shifted from when I was first there, where it was about a learning experience, and then it became that I was becoming the parent.
Oh, okay.
So when things were happening with teenagers, the parents no longer were stepping in to take over as parents, but they were really putting it all on the teachers to parent their children, and not participating and being a team in their child's development. And it was exhausting.
I can imagine. Wow. Yeah.
So I started at the same time, my psychic gifts weren't going to stay in a container any longer. And so they were popping out at unfortunate times, like in the middle of the mall or something. And then it seemed time to move into that genre.
Okay.
So I made that gentle transition of closing my dance studio and opening my healing practice.
Okay. Interesting. All right. I didn't know you started teaching that young. That's amazing.
Yeah. Yep.
So,
I declared it when I was 3.
wow. Okay.
That I was going to be a dance teacher. My first dance recital, my classmates froze on the stage. And so I stepped out in front and started teaching them what to do. And that sort of was like history from there.
Okay.
Everybody had the skill set at 3. I figured it was a possible career option.
There you go. Yeah. Good for you. That's exciting. Wow. Do you still do any dancing?
Not as much as I ought to. My team is getting a little annoyed with me around that. So it's time to reintegrate some of that.
I understand. I actually played my guitar today, so I understand about the team getting after you.
I think Francesca's in the group, and so she knows. She's been helping encourage.
Yes, because the aroma dance workshop is really popular. Yeah.
I love it. It moves the chakra energy, and you get to move around however you want to fun music. It's great.
Oh, that sounds like fun. Like fun. I still dance like an old white guy, so I don't think that's going to happen, but that's all right. All right. And just quickly, I noticed that Pauline is here. Hi, Pauline. How are you? Maura is here. Hi, Maura. Angie is also here. So welcome to everybody. And as I said, I think I saw earlier that Fran was in the group also. So hi, Fran. How are you? So I have another question for you. When it said, when I was looking into your information, that something dramatic happened in May of 2013 that caused your energy to shift dramatically. Is that something you'd like to talk about, or should we skip to the next question?
No, that was not too bad. There's a couple of questions I was like, I don't want to talk about that. No, you know, my team sometimes puts me on the fast track. You know, you and I have talked about that. And so I have a lot of stubborn energy where I want to get things over and done with quickly. Okay. So energetically, I set myself up for a major awakening. I did a year of energy medicine school that was shifting a lot, but at the same time, I was teaching Reiki and giving attunements. I did training in 4 other modalities.
Wow. Okay.
So basically, I did work that you should do in like a 5-year period in 2 months.
Wow. Okay.
So all of a sudden I had a spontaneous opening where I channeled for 48 hours almost straight.
Oh my goodness. Wow.
Talking and writing, initially writing, but then it was coming out faster than I could keep up with.
Okay.
So in that time frame, in a week period, I have about 100 hours of recorded information that came through.
That's amazing.
And then I could see what happened visually to my chakras and how they shifted and changed, which actually became a foundation for my school, because it's part of the second year. You need to go through this expansion to be able to hold the energy of our third year.
Okay, cool.
So if you can't hold this energy, it's really difficult for you to move forward.
Right. Okay. So you're someone who's like, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up.
Yeah. I got that about me.
I relate. I relate. All right. So who or what inspired you to open your school?
You know, like I said, I've been a teacher probably since the age of 3. It's a huge archetype for me. And so teacher wasn't even, you know, it wasn't even a possibility like that I wasn't going to teach. It was just a matter of when and how. And then I went to Brazil to visit with and study the psychic medium John of God. Mm-hmm. And you set an intention for your work while you're there. And my intention, be careful what you wish for, is to open my gifts fully and be shown exactly how I was supposed to use them. Okay. And so while I was there, the download came in of that I was going to be doing this school. It was going to be different. It was going to work in, you know, it was information that wasn't being taught anywhere else. There were going to have to be a number of books that were created to support people who go through it. And I basically came back from Brazil and sort of announced it.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And my spiritual team made sure that I was at the biggest healing expo in New England a month later. Yep. So that I could just launch it. And because of the energy, I didn't have time for fear to set in.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah. I understand.
So I just did it, you know, and I set the intention. I just did it. And then everything was working forward to launching that. Cool.
Good. Speaking of the biggest expo in New England, we're both going to be there again in November. So I'm looking forward to that. And I also have, see if I can, there you go. And I want to get it to the bottom so you can see the contact information there. So that's up there. This is her brand new brochure, and the information is right there at the bottom. It says trinitymysticenergy.com. So you guys can check it out. It's a wonderful school, and anybody who's interested, that is certainly something that you should look into. So,
and we're moving online now, so you don't even have to be close by.
That's cool. Even better. So here's a big question for you.
Yep.
What is multidimensional quantum healing?
Yeah, that's a tough one, huh? So basically, energy moves in waves and particles.
Yep.
And it moves through different frequencies and vibrations.
Mm-hmm.
And so what I train my students to do is how to experience, how to sense, and become able to connect to all of that, the frequency, the vibration, the particle, and the wave, and find anything that is out of tune
Okay.
with the person and their energy field.
Okay.
And so many people understand past lives and things like that, and we can have echoes of that energy that are in our current space.
Okay.
Sometimes those echoes need to be cleared as well. So we're not necessarily working in this time and space, but sometimes we need to work in other times and space so it's not impacting us right now and shifting our decisions and how we make things. And mostly that tends to be old fear. Old fear gets caught in our energy field, and we're reacting to it in this lifetime, even though it may not have any relevance to who we are right now.
Okay. Wow. Great answer. I love that. And I was, as soon as I met you, I trusted you, and that's very unusual for me. So there's something about your energy, but you and I just love this. I tease you about being a rocket science, but the law of attraction and the vibration and the energy and the wave and the particle, I love, I love all that stuff. And to our viewers out there, that might be a hint to what's coming up later.
Yeah.
All right. Do you have a favorite story or experience about your school and about making a difference for people? Was there anything amazing that or just something that you really enjoyed?
It was funny when you sent me that question. I'm like, I guess my favorite thing is the joke about our school at the moment. There's an energy medicine school that's nearby that people refer to it as the divorce school.
Oh boy.
A lot of people who go there get divorced. It's, as finding themselves, they find out that they made some bad choices and they have a very high divorce rate. Well, I have a very high fertility rate.
Oh boy. Okay.
So whether you want to birth a child or a new business or a new idea, that seems to happen.
Okay. All right. So it's not just babies.
So it's not just babies, but there have been a lot of people who have manifested jobs that are much more aligned with who they are, have aligned relationships with more who they are and who they're meant to be, and people who had really wanted to become parents, but needed to sort of for the moms, I told them, as they were working, we wanted to clean their oven so that they had the best environment to bake their new creation in. So yes, we've had a lot of babies for a small school.
I did notice that a lot of your students were having babies. So
if you don't want to get pregnant, you're going to have to set a pretty strong intention.
Right. Yes. Unfortunately, Marge and I are past that. So. All right. Of all the modalities now, in the beginning when I read all the things you can do, of all of them, do you have a favorite? Is there one that's your go-to, or?
So that's actually, this is one of the questions that I was like, because the short answer is that I don't use any of them independently.
Oh, okay. All right.
So what happens is, and this is what I teach, part of how I teach in my school is we take the strands of energy healing from all the separate modalities, and I teach how to weave them together as a tapestry so that you're using them all at once.
Okay.
So Reiki might have 3 to 5 strands of healing.
Okay.
And IET has about 3. So if you didn't use them separately, you have, 3 options here or 5 options here.
Right.
If you now have 8 options that you can tap into,
Mm.
and that you're not necessarily going, okay, now I'm going to switch to IET, or now I'm going to switch to Reiki. Because the way the Ancient One sort of showed it to me is that there was a time period when the healers held all of the strands at one time.
Right. Okay.
And when we had that, we had too much. We got a little bit in our ego, shocking, and we didn't behave well with that power, and so it was broken apart and spread across the planet, so that everybody had access to healing, but nobody held all the strands, and that there was this time period where it was going to have to be woven back together. And
Okay.
this is that time period. And that's actually what I teach at the school, is how to weave all of those back together so that you can hold as many strands as you are meant to hold.
Oh, I like that. Okay. Cool.
So right now I hold about 218.
Wow. Okay. That's excellent. Good. Good. And for those who live in Massachusetts, Polly Jo has done healing work on me and Marge, and I love it. And I appreciate it. You know that. I love you for it. So it's helped us a great deal. So I really appreciate that. We're going to talk some more in a second. I see people are making more comments. If you're just joining us, I'm flying the plane today, not Marge, and that's why you're not seeing anything scrolling underneath or comments or anything like that. We will do the best we can to get all of your questions. I see some of them have questions for the guide, so we will do the best that we can to get all of them at the end. I am seeing it. I see Kayla is there also, and so we will do our best to get to all of them. So I just wanted to throw that in there. And here's a big question for you.
Okay.
Big.
Must have to do with the Ancient One.
No, that's coming. That's coming. It's not there yet. The big question is can anybody learn how to be an energy healer, or do you have to be a psychic? Do you have to be, or what's the story with that?
Okay, so here's the first thing.
Okay.
Everybody is psychic.
I know that. I agree with you, and I hear that, audience. Everybody is psychic.
Everybody is psychic. And because of that, we're all intuitive, right? We all have an ability to intuit. So the way I teach energy medicine is to remind you how to tap into your intuition and how to use the client, your person that you're working with, use their intuitive sense to connect to your intuitive sense so that you're having this spiritual communication. Okay. And when that channel is wide open, anybody can do that. And you know this, young children will do energy healing instinctively, and mothers will do it. How many times have you grabbed your own belly because it hurt and put your hands over it and started to heal it? Or you put a hand over a scraped knee, or you kiss it to make it feel better because you're sending love energy to it, and rub somebody's back because they're crying or upset. All of that is energy healing. A hug is one of the most potent ways to heal. Yes.
Good. I love that. And a little bit off subject is with our society has become very, very sort of, oh, don't touch me, don't, and all that. And I tend to be someone who touches people and everything because I've always known that there's healing energy within my hands. And so I find that interesting, but that's fascinating. So for all of our viewers out there, number one, you're all psychic, even if you didn't know that, you are. And number two, all of you can learn energy healing. So anybody who is interested, just the idea, well, I'm not a psychic, so I can't go to Polly Jo school. That is not true. And you can learn how to do this. So perfect. Wonderful stuff. Excellent. Here's a fun question for you.
Okay.
How did you connect with Neshi and Star Nations?
I was trying to remember, actually. It's funny. I'm not completely positive, which is funny. But I do know that when Star Nations was on Blog Talk Radio,
Okay.
Somebody, maybe a client, or I'm not really sure, but somebody told me about Star Nations and some of the radio shows that they had going on. And I was curious, it was also one of those things about, well, how can I use my gifts in a different way? And so I watched a couple shows where people drew cards and somebody did, sort of like soul work. And so it was an interesting mix. And then I was on one of those shows, and the show host was doing a reading for me, a card draw for me, and was like, "You're supposed to have a show on Star Nation."
Okay.
And sort of the next thing I knew,
there you are.
I was having a chat.
Wow. Okay.
And finding out about it from there. And then I really got to know Neshi when we switched to the live stream shows.
Okay. Yeah.
Because when that happened, she became my producer.
Right.
I got to know her more personally, and she really cares about us as show hosts. And it was very important to me I had a lot going on with the school and my personal life, and she just held space for my healing, and that was kind of that. Now she's like, my soul sister,
Right. Yeah. 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 So you're out there playing with her and Georgie and Paul.
Georgie and I.
Georgie is the dog, by the way. For those of you who don't know, Georgie is a golden retriever, I believe.
I'm Auntie PJ, like I'm here, and so it's he just I'm having I'm filling up my dog energy while I'm here.
Good, excellent. And I haven't known Neshi as long as you have, but she has such an amazing heart, and she is such a loving, caring person for all of us who work with her, but all of the people who read her magazine, all of the people in the world. And she's just an amazing person. And another one, great love for her. So I'm only slightly jealous that you're out there.
Someday soon, you and Marge will take a trip out.
Yes. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Excellent. Good. All right. Here's the big question. You knew this was coming. All right. You write a column for Star Nations magazine, which we were just talking about. And a lot of times you channel the Ancient One. Now, I know the Ancient One. He's the one with the really deep voice who occasionally makes my voice really deep too. So what can you tell us about him and about channeling in general? So I know that's sort of, so let's start with, who is the Ancient One and what is that about?
So I'm going to let him come through. Hold on.
Okay, cool.
So the Ancient One is one of the original 13. And as part of the original 13, he has been a guide for humanity since the beginning. Helping us on our soul path, on our soul lessons, often a teacher, often teaching masters how to be masters, and connecting us to our true self and the ability to transmute and transform our lives through the alchemical process, through the sifting and the releasing of what's no longer serving us.
Good. So I do see that there's a question from Ellen Barthost. Ellen, how are you? Thank you for the question. And you probably know what the question is. And what is the original 13?
So the way I've seen it, and it comes up a lot in religious energy is there's often when a I got to use this hold on. I got to use this century's terminology. So when a prophet comes in, they have 12 who hold. So there's the 1, and then there's the 12, and the circle of 12 hold for the 1. And in the beginning, it was who they've taken turns throughout the centuries being the 1 and being the 12.
Okay.
And so whenever humanity needed to expand and move up vibrationally, there has been one of the 13 to be here to help with that.
Okay. All right. And I'm assuming that probably the Buddha was one of them, and possibly the Christ was one of them, and maybe Muhammad and some, all of the.
So they're the original ascended masters.
Okay. Cool. Excellent. Good. And channeling. Let's talk about channeling.
Sure.
Now, I'm a channel, you're a channel, and people have asked me how I do it, and I just go, I don't know. You see that? We put our shoulders up. Obviously, we're channeling the same thing right now. I don't have a good explanation for it. Maybe you do, and if you don't, that's okay. I'm just curious.
I actually do.
Oh, good. Excellent.
Probably because I have a teacher archetype.
There you go. Okay.
So, and that's part of my teacher is to take, complex questions and simplify them into an answer that people can understand.
Yes.
And so channeling is really, we all have a crown chakra.
Yep.
We all have a higher self. And so channeling happens when we allow our crown chakra to connect to our higher self, and the crown chakra of the higher self also is open. And so through that divine circuitry, or that crystalline tube, as Neshi would call it, or an expanded Hara line, as my team might call it, the divine energy flows through. And what comes through in divine channeling, because I am a mystic, so I'm going to put that cursor out there, is that as a mystic, it just slides right through. So the highest vibrational frequency of divine energy that I can connect to will come through when I ask. Now, other people will channel, like you channel spiritual masters.
Yes.
And they sit in a particular frequency.
Right.
And so basically you knock on the door and open it, and they come in and chat with you.
Right.
And when they come in and chat, it's because we're comfortable with them and we're open. But you and I both have very good gatekeepers.
Yes.
Who know when the channel door needs to close and when it's time to open. And you and I both will do some sacred practice before we clear our energy and we open to a higher gateway.
Okay.
And other people can channel, but sometimes they're not as good with their gatekeeper.
Yes. Yeah.
And so what comes through may not be in the fullest, highest frequency, but it may be the highest that they can tap into at that moment.
That makes sense. Good. Excellent. See, that was a wonderful answer. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Excellent. It's in the beginning, the first group that I started channeling was Abraham, which is the same group that Esther Hicks channels. And I would tell Marge, I would just say, they're right here. So whatever and I would just, whatever I could just get to right here, and that's where they were. And I would open my Z spot and just let them talk through me. So yes. And I don't know if anybody in the audience, but when Polly Jo was talking about the crown chakra being open and feeling the crystalline tube, boy, could I feel it. So I don't know if any of you guys were experiencing that too, but I certainly was. And again, Polly Jo and I have a really strong connection, but maybe some of you felt it too, and that would be really cool if that happened. So good.
That's my job.
Yeah. That always teaching, always helping. Excellent. Before we tell them about our big announcement, I just want to talk to the audience. So far, every show I've done a tapping. And today, we're going to show you something slightly different. We're going to show you the hand technique. And the hand technique is on your hand, on your finger, on this part, on the side of your finger next to your nail, you can tap right? Yeah, right. Just where Polly Jo was showing, you can tap right there on any of your 4 fingers. And what that does, let me see if I can get on the camera. Yeah, this is challenging. There we go. Very good. What you can do is you can just tap just like this on all of your fingers. I'm sort of sliding out of the frame. There we go. And then just back up again. And if you can't tap, you can hold the pressure. Now, the reason why you can do it on your hand, or what helps when you do it on your hand, is you can put your hand under the desk and no one can see you doing it. You can tap when you're driving in the car rather than sitting here and starting to do this. You know, that might not be the easiest thing to do while you're driving the car. The other thing is you can just hold the pressure. So if you can't tap, there we are, I'm on screen, you can just hold the pressure there also. It calms down your nervous system. It helps you relax. It helps you calm. It helps you settle. You can also start saying things like, I am worthy. The guides have been, I don't want to say after me because they're never really after me, but they're reminding me a lot that we need to let everybody know they're worthy, that as we're moving up in the evolution of what's happening now, people need to awaken to that and to remember that. So you can simply just tap on your hand and say, I am worthy. I am worthy. I am worthy. Repeat it over to yourself and let it calm down your nervous system. So hopefully that will give you a new type of tapping and something to do with the tapping. And we did say we were going to talk a little bit about spiritual principles. So here's a big one that Polly Jo helped, and I, you know, I know a few things, but she helped us with at the workshop when we were there last weekend. I explained what the I am means. And Polly Jo added to that quite a bit and helped and shift the energy for me. So I am one against, do you remember what we talked about? I'm sure you remember that, right?
Yeah.
So if you would please share that with the audience, what the I am means and what when you say that and then where it originally comes from, and the mistake mistake isn't the right word, but the way I was doing it and how we shifted it.
Yes. So when Ed was describing the I am consciousness, he used the word God. And you guys who've watched my show will understand that I use divine instead of God, because we each have our own preconceived notion of God. And depending on your notion of God, that is what you connect to. So if you have had in the past a sensation of a God who's judgmental, then that's the energy you're connecting to. If you have a God who has unconditional love, but again is separate from you, then that is who you'll connect to. Where I am is the original consciousness. It is original divine energy where we all were born and birthed from. So we are, and I am is that connection to the fullest, highest, expanded version of creation. So some people will call that the original creator versus God. Some people will call it I am consciousness. Some will call it unity, but it is that is where the I am comes from. It comes from, it's released of any expectations. It just is.
Right, right. And when you make a statement, I am, whatever you're declaring next, you're declaring that you are and that your energy is, and you're calling on original energy that I referred to as God, and I like Polly Jo's explanation better because I have an archetype of God also. So I like connected energy, unity energy, original energy, source energy, whatever. And you're connecting to that, and that's what you're becoming. So the I am worthy is a very powerful statement, and I am enough, I am lovable, I am worthy, I am any of those statements as you're tapping is going to shift your energy and connect you to original creative energy that you are. Right? We know from the supposedly the name of God, which can't be named, is I am that I am. So wonderful. Thank you for that. And a little tapping for everybody there. All right. So big exciting news. Polly Jo and I are going to do a workshop together. It is going to be a 2-day, mind-blowing, fun, happy, joyful, science healing. There's probably going to be water pistols and I'm going to do science experiments, etc. I'm going to do the best that I can to teach everybody everything I know about law of attraction. And so that when you leave, you understand exactly what to do, how vibration works, how to create, how to manifest, etc. And then Polly Jo is going to do some amazing stuff. What are you going to do?
So Ed's going to work on your logic brain and teach the need to knowers what they need to know. And my job is to tap into your creative brain and remind you how to create it. Releasing the energy that is blocking the creation. So any beliefs and ideas that come up as Ed's talking to your logic brain will be energetically going to those places and removing those obstacles all right in that moment, so that you don't put them back into your psyche to continue running your programming. So think of it as an energy upgrade in a number of areas, but especially around attracting the life that you want to create.
Yeah, so it's very exciting. And how did this come to be?
Part of it came to be because you came and taught workshops for my school.
Right.
And would stir one part of the pot. And as part of that, the healer in me couldn't leave well enough alone. It was like, it was right there, it was stirred, it was time to take it out of the pot.
Right.
So diving right in with my students in that moment and moving it was huge. And you and I were able to see how quickly it worked when my bank account jumped multiple times over in a short period of time.
Right.
So that was an interesting experiment.
Right. And I do remember the two of us shifting some energy for right there in the workshop a couple times and to help a few people. And that was an amazing experience for everybody who was in the room. So Polly Jo sends me, I think you sent me a message that it said something like, the guides want us to do a workshop together. Are you in? And I'm like, ah! Yeah, I'm in.
Yeah. I said, my spiritual team said it's time.
Yeah. So if you can't tell by watching this broadcast, we're a little bit excited.
Very.
So the first one, the inaugural one, is going to be at Polly Jo's school out in Western Mass at Trinity Healing Sanctuary. And it's going to be November 23rd and 24th, which is a Saturday and Sunday. And it's going to be an amazing workshop. That's going to be the first time. And we plan to continue to do it. And we're very excited. So you can contact either Polly Jo or me, and we will get that information to you. Excellent. Good. All right. We have a few minutes left. I know we have some questions. You feel like channeling some answers for folks? You up for that?
Yes.
Okay.
And we have Neshi's permission to go over a little bit.
Okay.
It took us a little while to get the ball.
Figure out how to get on. Yeah. Yeah.
So we're allowed to stretch it a little bit. I'm using my influence.
Okay. All right. Good. And now you guys see how important Marge is to me, because all right. So the first question I got was from Angie, and she actually sent it in ahead of time. So I'm going to read it, and I will let you. I'll let you answer this one first, if that's okay.
Okay.
All right. So it says, "Hi, I would like to know if I'm going down the right path spiritual wise, as well as if I am with the right partner that is helping me strengthen with live and positive energy. I feel strongly that she is my true soulmate. I would like to hear from the guides."
Okay. You want me to go first?
Sure.
All right. So the first thing that my team is coming in with is you need to let go of the word right. Because there is no right, there is no wrong. It is a moment of choosing what is aligned best with how you are in the moment. So there's never a wrong choice. So let's take the right and wrong out of it. Instead, I'm going to encourage you to feel inside your body whether you feel happy, nervous is okay, excited, because those are aligned with your true spirit and they're aligned with your inner child. If you feel a pushback, or if you feel any fear or worry, then you might want to take a breath and decide whether this is the choice for you at the moment. So starting with that. In terms of your partner that you have at the moment, we have more than one soulmate. So again, there's not just one, because if there was just one, as Ed has said before, what would happen if they happen to be in Bangladesh? We never run into them, right? Because there's billions of people on the planet. So that we have multiple options. Is this the person for you at this moment? I feel a very strong vibrational connection between you. But again, I steer away from right and wrong or perfect or not, because that puts a lot of pressure on you and your partner. And it's almost something we can't, it's an expectation that nobody can meet. So how about, are you happy? And if you're happy, then that's great. That's all you need right now, right?
Perfect. Yes. And happy is a feeling, as Polly Jo was saying. Get it out of the mental stuff and stop with the thinking, because the thinking is going to just cause you to run. How does it feel? If it makes you feel happy and brings you joy, it's perfect. And right now, in the moment, it's perfect. And in the future, that can change. But for right now, perfect. So wonderful answer. Thank you. All right, let me see if I can scroll back here and find some. Wow, there's lots of comments. Thank you all very much. Thank you for everybody who's being here and commenting. So it looks like the first question is from Pauline Brown. I would like to ask the guides about how to increase my finances. Thank you. Come to Ed's money workshop. I know Pauline lives across the pond. That wouldn't be easy for her. Probably cost her more than that. But that information, that workshop is eventually going to be available online. So keep your fingers crossed for that. But again, we're gonna let Polly Jo go first. Do you have anything for Pauline?
Besides your workshop? That my team is saying you will have online by February?
Okay, fine. That's good.
So really the thing that comes through for me, the sensation that I feel around that, Pauline, is that when you're aligned with the vibration of what you want to call in, whether it's more money or it's a particular house or a trip, when you match it, when it becomes part of what you can see as if it's happening right now, So Ed talks about visualizing that you can see it, smell it, taste it, hear it, feel it. And the more it is real, then the quicker it comes to you. And my team often talks to me about the minute you feel doubt, or the minute you feel hesitation even, that's where you need to look. And the sooner you look at that and release it, the faster you connect to it again.
Perfect. Wonderful answer. Wonderful answer. I'm gonna hold this up to the camera. Hopefully you can all see that. That's a gold $100 bill, which we're going to use in the money workshop. I just happen to have one laying around, right? So everything Polly Jo said was absolutely perfect. And the thing that comes up in the workshop is people, we say to them, what does money feel like? And they go, ah. And I go, okay, after that, what does money feel like? And they go, I don't know. So feeling good about anything will bring you what you want. So as Polly Jo was saying, once you start feeling that negative energy, that's when you're getting out of balance. That's when you're getting out of alignment. So if you can't feel good about money, feel good about going to the beach, or feel good about petting your cat, or feel good about anything else. And as long as you're feeling good, that's the energy of connected, and then you're allowing. Okay, good, excellent. Let's see what else I can find here. All right. Angie, we answered already. Okay, about the soulmate. Here is Martina has a question. Will my husband work things out? Okay, will her husband work things out? We want to be careful here because we don't want to take away anybody's free will. The thing is, everything always works out, but sometimes it doesn't work out the way we'd like it to work out. And so everything is going to work out because from friction, from contrast, from discomfort, from stuff, we ask. And when we ask, our energy shifts and we change and we grow. So the short answer is yes, everything is going to work out. The real question that you're asking is it going to work out the way you would like it to? And again, Polly Jo and I are not going to take away your free will because our guides will not do that. So we're going to tell you to focus on how you feel. And when you feel good, you're in alignment and you're allowing things to flow. And when you don't, you're not. And if your focus is always bringing you doubt, making you feel bad, causing negative, causing fighting, causing any of that, then that's not helping and that's not moving in the direction that you want it to move in. So pay attention to how it feels. Remember, try not to get caught in the thinking loop and trust again to your feelings. And yes, we know this is a dude telling you all ladies about feelings. You guys are much better at it than we are. All right. Polly Jo, would you like to add anything to that?
I probably should. So here's the extra piece, okay? Which is when we hold on to a warped vision of what we want things to be, then that ripple goes through everything. So instead, it's kind of like what I said before, there's no right, there's no perfect. So when you let go of the perfect answer or the perfect relationship and you just live where you are, then you open the capacity for fuller, truthful communication. And so what I'm feeling or sensing is the more you can stay in your heart center, because you can only control you, no one else. When you're controlling that you are doing your best, and you can only do your best, to stay in your heart center and open up communication, every single relationship you have will be in integrity. And when you're in integrity, then we don't try to control the outcome. We just lovingly stay where we are. And I think that will help, because sometimes we have a lot of fixing energy. We want to fix it. We want to make it better, or we want somebody to listen to us. And that actually hinders the healing process. So controlling our own response by being in a heart-centered place, and being willing to let go of our idealized version of what something could be or was, or just being in the now. It can be sloppy and messy, but it can still be beautiful. Does that make sense?
Makes perfect sense. Wonderful answer. Thank you. Thank you. Good. All right. Mara has a question. I have the things I have been working on starting to shift, fear and moving forward, karmic patterns, limiting beliefs. And what is it I need to work on to let go of as I'm working through on my life's purpose? Everything that Polly Jo and I, which actually is the guides, as you know, have been talking about is about being in alignment. And being in alignment means that you feel good, means your heart is open, means your energy is flowing. So anything that you want to attract, you want to be in the energy of love, the connected energy, the flowing energy. And when you're in the flowing energy, everything comes through. Now, there's a misnomer about working on your life's purpose, because your life's purpose is to be joyful, is to live, is to be connected, is to allow, is to be in the moment, is to flow. So it's not so much you're working on your life's purpose, it's working on what you're choosing to do that you find interesting, that you are learning and growing from. So the answer is to stay connected in your heart, let your energy flow, be in joy as much as you can, and Mara, relax. Relax, relax, relax. And I'll let Polly Jo take it from there.
Very good, very good. So one of the things that is taught through my school is that when we connect to the energy center that focuses on our life purpose, it's part of our soul chakras. If we're in our ego self, we can't connect to them. So this is calling on our higher self, expanding our intuition and allowing that to flow in. And as Ed's guide said, and Ed said, you know, our life's purpose is to be happy. And my team expresses it is that we're to be love. So what do you love to do? What have you loved to do since you were a kid? And is there a way to bring that into your now? And if you can do that in some form, you'll find that your quality of your life expands, and that's exactly where we're supposed to be. But again, if you're in the thinking brain and you're trying to like make a roadmap of how to get to my life purpose in 5 easy steps, it's not going to happen. It's about being. It's not about doing.
Perfect. Perfect. Wonderful. Beautiful answer. Thank you. Thank you to your guides. All right, Maria, would love to hear from the guides. Have anything for me before the big weekend?
Yes, she's coming to my weekend.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's exciting. Yeah. All right. So this is what I'm getting, Maria. Be excited, but relax. Just easy, gentle. You're going to, when we go to workshops like this, sometimes we try to shift our energy and we try to do it right and we try to get it right and we make sure it happens. And then we leave and go, I don't know if anything happened. And if you just chill out and be in the moment and be there, you see what an amazing teacher and healer Polly Jo is. And if you're just chilled and relaxed and open, the learning's going to happen. The shift is going to happen. The energy is going to change. You may feel it right away. You may not feel it right away, but it's definitely going to happen. So that's the biggest thing. Be excited, but relax. Perfect. Polly Jo, would you like to add anything to that?
The biggest thing that I'm hearing is bring an open mind and an open heart.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, it's a process. So whatever unfolds, you know, I think of the empowerment weekends, you know, as, you know, you're the flower. So the outside might look one way, but when we bloom, it's completely different. And so who knows what's going to bloom, but I can tell you it's going to be this beautiful flower. So do you want me to type that in? Do you want me to? So I'm just answering Neshi's question because somebody asked it. And Marge just put it in. So November 23rd and 24th is our workshop.
Okay.
And Marge, there is a Facebook event possibly around it. If it's done, you could probably put the link in there as well, because if not, you can go to the Trinity Healing Sanctuary's Facebook page, and it's there. The event's there, and you can find the information out.
Perfect. Excellent. Good. Good.
And Marie, bring comfy clothes.
Yes.
I need it.
All right. So I think we're running a little bit over. So Brenda you're okay? All right. If you're okay, I'm okay. All right. So Brenda has a question. How does one move forward from a loss? And this is a challenging one. And we don't want to sound uncaring or anything like that, but we don't classify it as a loss. Now, we understand that you're grieving and it feels like a loss to you, but when someone transitions, it's like walking into another room, and their energy is still around us. They can still hear us. We can still, you can still talk to them. They can hear you and everything. And it's we don't want to downplay your grief or downplay your feeling bad or anything like that. But this is the way we say it to people. When my youngest brother died, the next day the sun came out. When John Kennedy died, the next day the sun came out. When the Christ died, the next day the sun came out. When the Buddha died, the next day the sun came out. The people that we lose don't want us to stop living because they're not here. Now, that doesn't mean that you don't take the time and you heal your heart and allow your energy to grieve and process and feel your feelings. But we really want you to know that they're not gone. You haven't lost them. You're on channel 4 and they're on channel 5. They're right there. Heaven is not somewhere gone. It's right here. The energy is right here. And it's a process, and it takes time, and it takes healing. It takes tears. It takes all of that. And know that you are loved by all that is. You are loved by your guides. You are loved by the people that you perceive as lost. There is great love surrounding you and coming to you. And if you can tap into that a little bit, that will start to help and make it feel better for you. Good. Polly Jo, would you like to add anything to that?
Yeah. So Brenda, when we remember that our loved one is home, it's just that we're away from home. And so they're not lost. It's like they took a trip, right? But they went home where they're in love and joy and happiness. And don't we want that for them, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And when we pull our energy into the past, my team talks about we stretch our energy into the past or into the future. It keeps us from being in the moment now. So one of the things that I'm sensing is it's okay for you to be grieving in any old way you want to. You can be sad. You can be angry as heck that they left you, because that may be how you're feeling right now. And you can have everything in between. And it's going to take you how long it takes you. But remember, again, as Ed was saying, your loved one is here. And you can close your eyes and breathe and communicate with them any moment of any day. We talked about your channel. You can dial to that channel 5 and have conversations of completion that you might need as part of your healing process. And don't be afraid to ask for help.
Yes. Yeah.
You know, there are a lot of earth angels here to help you, support you, hold you as you work through this, because we're not meant to do anything alone, even our grieving process.
Right. Right. Beautiful. Beautiful. And know that there is love coming from us for you too. You know, you're surrounded by love. We're sending, I feel the love pouring out from the guides for you. So beautiful, wonderful answer. And there are no more questions. There's a lot of information in the, and there's a big thank you from Brenda. You're welcome, Brenda. You're so welcome. There's a lot of information that Margie would have put on the screen here for all of you, which we will do our best to get into the comments, if not today, tomorrow. And now you see why I personally am so excited about teaching with Polly Jo, and not just when our guides and all that, but just I'm jacked. I can't wait. I can't wait. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be fun. It's going to be incredible. If you can join us, as we said, the first one is going to be in Western Mass at the end of November. We are going to continue to do these. Hey, we may end up in England, Pauline. You never know. So we're excited. I want to thank all of you for tuning in. I want to thank Polly Jo for being here for this. This was so much fun, and I enjoyed getting to know you a little bit better and having the chat and offering your wisdom of the guides to my viewers. And I know some of them are your viewers too, and I appreciate that. Thank you to Neshi. Thank you to Marge. I really, oh my goodness. And thank you to all of you. We will see you in a month. I do want to let you know that the guides want you to know that you're worthy. You are worthy. Polly Jo, is there anything you'd like to say before we close for today?
I want to say thank you for helping me on my spiritual mission to heal the healers, because that's always who shows up. We all have a gift to share with the planet. That's why we're here. And each one of these shows allows people to get a glimpse of how to shine their own light. So thank you to Star Nations. Thank you for having me here. And I look forward to seeing some of you in person this weekend. And yeah, have a great one.
Excellent. Thank you, everybody. Light and love. We will see you next month. Take care. Bye-bye.